Lecture 1 Part B. Course is Differential Equation in Fourier Series for the student of Department of Chemical Engineering. I am Dr. Farid and we have discussed in Part A of Lecture 1 the following topics. We discuss about the differential equation, classification by type, in which there are two type of differential equation. First is ordinary differential equation and second is partial differential equation. We further discuss classification by order, degree, linearity and non-linear differential equation. And finally, we discuss about the solution of differential equation, general and particular, and some concept of conditions. Initial value problem. A differential equation along with initial condition defined on the unknown function y of x or on its derivatives is called initial value problem. In short, we write it as IVPS. So whenever we have differential equation and there is some condition and those conditions are initial conditions, then the differential equation along with condition is called initial value problem. For nth order differential equation, there are n conditions defined as y at x naught, y prime at x naught, y double prime at x naught up to y to the n minus 1th order derivative at x naught. The initial condition usually given in term of unknown function at specific point or its derivative, but all conditions are given at the same point, that is called as x naught. For example, solve dy by dx is equal to f of xy. Now here a differential equation is given. This is first order, first degree differential equation, and this differential equation based on two variable x and y, where x is independent variable and y is dependent variable. So this is first order differential equation. Subject to, this is the condition or constant, y at x naught means y naught. X naught, y naught are the known value of two variables x and y. So the differential equation, that is dy by dx is equal to f of xy, and the condition y x naught is equal to y naught. These two equations as a whole is called initial value problem. Example 2. Solve d square y over dx square. This is equal to the function of x, y, these are the variable, and y prime. It means that this differential equation involve also first order derivative of y with respect to x. Now the constant or subject to the conditions are, is starting from unknown function y, y at x naught is equal to y naught, and y prime at x naught is equal to y1. Remember it, there are two conditions, both are given at the same value of x, that is called x naught, right? The first condition given in term of unknown function y, and the second condition is given in term of y prime, that is the derivative of y with respect to x. Why there are two conditions? Because we have a differential equation of order 2. Whenever we have differential equation of order 2, there must be two initial condition, and initial condition is always start from in term of unknown function y, then its first derivative, then second derivative, and so on. So in similarly in the first example, the differential equation is of order 1, so there is only one condition given along with the differential equation. In 2, the order of differential equation is 2, so there are two conditions given along with the differential equation. It is to be noted, the initial condition, the initial value problem may have many solutions. Now next is boundary value problem. This is another type of problem in which a differential equation of order 2 or more with boundary condition defined on the unknown function y of x or on its derivative is called boundary value problem. In short, we write it as BVPS. So in boundary value problem, the differential equation must be of order 2 or higher. Then along with subsidiary conditions, it can be a boundary value problem. Boundary conditions are defined on different value for independent variable x. In contrast of initial value problem, all conditions are given at the same independent variable value. But in contrast, in boundary value problem, all the conditions are given with the different value of independent variable x. For example, solve d square y over dx square, which is a function of x, y, y prime. This is the second order differential equation. So if there is a condition that is given on the different value of independent variable, like y at a is equal to y naught and y prime b is equal to y1, where y naught and y1 are constant or unknown values. These are not variable. So here we have differential equation of order 2 along with subsidiary condition. There are two subsidiary conditions. The rule is same as we have applied in the initial value problem, that whenever we have order 2 differential equation, there must be two condition. Whenever we have order 1 differential equation, then we must have only single condition, and so on. Similarly here we have order 2 differential equation, then we must have two subsidiary condition. Now where do ODEs arise? It arises from all branches of engineering, economics, biology and medicine, chemistry, physics, etc. ODE arise in many contexts of mathematics and social and natural sciences. Mathematical description of change use differential and derivatives. Various differential, derivative and function become related via equation such that a differential equation is a result that describe dynamically changing phenomena, evaluation and variation, due to which it is being used in almost all fields. Often quantities are defined as the rate of change of other quantities. For example, derivative of displacement with respect to time, or gradient of quantities, which is how they enter differential equation. Scientific fields include meteorology for weather modeling, chemistry for reaction rates, biology for infectious disease, genetic variation, economics for stock trends, interest rates, and the market equilibrium price changes. Similarly, in engineering, where rate of change, differential, and dynamical changing phenomena are mostly involved. And we can't define mathematical model in which where dynamical system are involved without using the differential equation. Differential equation as a mathematical model. It is often desirable to describe the behavior of some real life system or phenomenon, whether physical, sociological, or even economics, in mathematical terms. The mathematical description of a system of phenomena is called a mathematical model and is constructed with certain goals in mind. Construction of mathematical model of a system start with the first point is identification of the variables those are responsible for changing the system. We may choose not to incorporate all these variables into the model at first. In this step, we are specifying the level of resolution of the model. Number 2, we make a set of reasonable assumption or hypotheses about the system we are trying to describe. These assumptions will also include any empirical laws that may be applicable to the system. For some purposes, it may be perfectly within reason to be contained with low resolution model. For example, you may already be aware that in modeling the motion of a body falling near the surface of the earth, the retarding force of air friction is sometimes ignored in beginning physics courses. But if you are a scientist whose job is to calculate accurately prediction of the flight path of a long range projectile, then air resistance and other factors such as the curvature of the earth have to be taken into account. Steps in modeling process. There are 4 steps starting from assumption, express assumption in term of differential equation, goes to mathematical formulation, solve the differential equation to obtain solution, display model prediction to check model prediction with known facts, and if necessary alter assumption or increase resolution of model. It start from the assumption, since the assumption made about a system frequently involve a rate of change of one or more of the variables. The mathematical depiction of all these assumptions may be one or more equation involving derivatives. In other words, the mathematical model may be a differential equation or a system of differential equation. It depends on the project. Once we have formulated a mathematical model, then it is either a differential equation or a system of differential equation. We are faced with the not insignificant problem of trying to solve it. If we can solve it, then we deem to model to be reasonable if its solution is consistent with either experimental data or known fact about the behavior of the system. But if the prediction produced by the solution are poor, we can either increase the level of resolution of the model or make alternative assumption about the mechanism for change in the system. So these are the essential 4 steps by which we can develop a model, and in the way we modify the model to get the accurate answer of our problem. Now, for example, Newton's law of cooling. This is a model of how the temperature of an object changes as it loses heat to the surrounding atmosphere. Temperature of the object is denoted by capital T obj in the index. Room temperature is denoted by capital T room. Newton's law states that the rate of change in the temperature of an object is proportional to the difference in temperature between the object and the room temperature. The rate of change in the temperature of an object is proportional to the difference in temperature between the object and the room temperature. Mathematically, the rate of change is denoted by derivative of T object with respect to time, which is proportional to the temperature difference between the object and the room, which is denoted by T object minus T room. And since the two quantities are directly proportional, there is a constant of infinity, proportionality. And if we solve this differential equation, that is ordinary differential equation, the differential equation of order 1, first order differential equation, and if we solve it, then we will get the value for T object, capital T object, which is equal to T room plus T initial minus T room e to the power minus alpha t, where T initial is the initial temperature of the object. Next example, swinging of a pendulum. Newton's second law for rotating object. If we have an object of mass m with, with weight mg hanging with a string of length L, and if this string making angle theta, then according to the equation, moment of inertia multiplied by angular acceleration give you net external torque. The moment of inertia is equal to ml square, and the angular acceleration is d square theta over dt square, which is equal to net external torque, the torque generated outside to move the object outside the circle, that is external torque, which is defined as minus time mgl sine theta. Rearranging and divide through by ml square, we get d square theta over dt square plus omega square sine theta is equal to 0. Since omega square is taken as g by L, if we divide ml square to the whole equation, we get g by L minus g by L sine theta. Now if you bring the right hand term to the left hand side, then it will be positive, and g by L is replaced by omega square. So d square theta over dt square plus omega square sine theta is equal to 0 is the equation of second law for rotating object. This equation is very difficult to solve. Now next is mixture problem. In this problem, the mixing of two salt solution of differing concentration give rise to a first order differential equation for the amount of salt contained in the mixture. Whenever we have two type of solution that contains a specific percentage of salt, then first order differential equation govern that amount of salt contained in the mixture at any time. So this can be determined by using the first order differential equation. For example, on our left hand side there is a tank. In the tank there are initial volume that is denoted by VI, initial volume in gallon. There is a pipe from which the water poured, and this rate of solution is denoted by capital R, and because this solution enter in the tank, then this solution is called new brine solution. So R, and within lower right index there is NBS. NBS stand for new brine system. So R represent the rate of new brine system, in gallon per minute is the unit. At the same time, there is a what source from which the water or the mixing salt solution leave the tank. That rate is denoted by RBSL. Capital R represent the rate and BSL brine solution leave the tank, right? At this place the brine solution leave with the rate R and the unit is gallon per minute. So for tank initially hold VI gallon of brine solution, RNBS gallon per minute is the rate of new brine solution enter, RBSL gallon per minute is the rate of brine solution leave, SVI in pound is the salt in initial volume, SNBS new brine solution salt pound per minute is the salt in new brine solution, and Q in pound is the salt in tank at any time t. So the equation that represent the amount of salt in the tank at any time by d capital Q over dt plus RBSL divided by VI plus RNBS minus RBSL time t, then whole time capital Q, which is equal to RNBS multiplied by RNBS, sorry, multiplied by SNBS, RNBS multiplied by SNBS on our right hand side. This is the differential equation of unknown function, that is Q here. This is first order differential equation because we have first order derivative dq over dt. In the second term there is unknown function Q and RBSL rate at which the brine solution leave. This is the constant quantity, this is the rate, it provides the rate at which the brine solution leave the system. Similarly VI is the initial volume, that is again constant. RNBS R rate new brown solution enter. So this is again the constant, this is the fixed value, minus RBSL rate of new brine solution leave times t. T is the time is specific, so it is again the constant. Now in the second term of differential equation the coefficient of Q is a constant and the right hand side is a constant. So this is the equation which governs the amount of salt in the tank at any time t. Method of solution of ordinary differential equations. There are various type of differential equation that is to be solved. So there are certain technique and method by which you can solve the differential equation. The very first and simplest one is separable equation. Definition: a first order differential equation of the form dy by dx is equal to g of x h of y, means g is a function of x, h is a function of y, and they are multiplied, is said to be separable or to have separable variables. Whenever we have such type of equation, that is dy by dx is equal to g of x multiplied by h of y, then that type of equation is called separable or separable variables. Now for separable variable there is a method of solution. Consider the differential equation of order 1. Remember it, this separable variable is always on the first order differential equation. So dy by dx, which is the first order, is equal to g of x multiplied by h of y. Then it, when we manipulate, it can be written as 1 over h of y multiplied by dy by dx, which is equal to p of y. This 1 over h of y is converted into function of p of y dy over dx g of x. We separate the variables. If y is a function of phi of x, represent a solution of the above differential equation, then the p of phi of x. Now listen carefully. We have p of y dy by dx is equal to g of x. So instead of y, here we put phi of x. So our equation become p of phi of x phi prime x dy by dx means phi prime x, which is equal to g of x. This equation can be integrated as integral p of phi of x multiplied by phi prime of x dx is equal to integral g of x dx. Or this can also be written as integral p of y dy, which is equal to integral g of x dx, since dy is taken as phi prime of x dx. Here if these two functions are integrable, then the value for py is can be written as h of y, and value for g of x can be written as capital G of x plus c. This c is the constant of integration, and it is introduced on our right hand side. It is always introduced on our right hand side. So this is the solution of the given separable variable equation. Now let us see in the solve example 1. Example number 1 says that solve the following differential equation. Now the differential equation dy by dx is equal to 6y square times x. This is first order differential equation because it is dy by dx. Now first of all we separate the variable. We get 1 by, if we interchange the variable, collect the y variable on our left hand side and x variable on our right hand side, because the x variable is the independent variable and independent variable always appear on the right hand side. So it become 1 by y square dy is equal to 6x dx from the given differential equation. Now integrate both sides. 1 by y square can be written as y to the power minus 2. Integral y to the power minus 2 dy is equal to integral. We take out the constant of integration from the integral sign, and if we integrate using formula number 1 of the given list, the very first formula of the integration, so after integrating we get minus 1 by y is equal to 3x square plus c. This is the required solution, or the solution of the given differential equation in term of x, the unknown function value in term of x. Now example 2. Solve the following differential equation: y prime is equal to xy cube divided by under root 1 plus x square. Here y prime represent dy by dx. This is another representation of the derivative. Now we apply the very first method, that is variables separable. So first of all we separate the variable by taking the y variable on left hand side and x variable on right hand side. We have this equation: y to the power minus 3 dy is equal to x dx divided by under root 1 plus x square. Or this can be written as y to the power minus 3 dy is equal to x time 1 plus x square whole to the power minus half dx. Now why we do this step here? Because we can see that if we taking it in the numerator, then x time 1 plus x square to the power minus half. This problem can be solved by using the substitution method. If we take t is equal to 1 plus x square, then dt by dx become 2x, right? And x dx can be replaced by dt. So why this is why we do this step here in this question. Now integrate both sides. Integral y to the power minus 3 dy, which is equal to integral x multiplied by 1 plus x square to the power minus half dx. By doing the substitution method, we will get, take the integral, first integral of y to the power minus 3, it become minus 1 by 2y square. This is our left hand side. Now for right hand side, simply if we take the substitution method and replace it, we will get 1 by 2 times 1 plus x square whole to the power half divided by half plus c, where c is the constant of integration. Or finally, if we simplify it, this half, and on our right hand side the half and the half appear in the denominator of 1 plus x square to the power half will cancel out, and the right hand side, left hand side is same, minus 1 by 2y square, which is equal to under root 1 plus x square plus c. This is our required solution.